What's the challenge of getting ready for an opponent that has so many guys injured, and you may or may not have a whole bunch of video of this guy or that guy or this guy?
Yeah, you have to kind of see what they've done throughout the course of the year and just kind of see what they're about. They could obviously change their game plan depending on what personnel they have. So kind of as the game goes on, we may have to make some adjustments for sure with all of that.
Do you have to expect them to be more aggressive or less aggressive? I mean,
I'm not sure. Yeah, we really don't know how they're going to play it. So like I said, you just got to be ready to adjust and, be prepared for a lot of different scenarios for sure.
If you take away, and I guess you can't, but you take away some of the drops, penalties, things like that in that first game, you still had, 411 yards or something like that. Did you feel like, you at least played respectably that way?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a frustrating game because there was a lot of aspects where we did play well. So we just have to make sure, like you said, we do a good job catching the ball, finishing drives, not giving up any costly turnovers, things like that, that really changed the outcome of the game. So I think, just playing a clean game and being on top of our stuff, that's going to be the biggest thing.
The play to Josh Jacobs, is that a check down to the left, and he turns it into a 49-yard
Yeah.
Well, he said he sort of changed a little bit on what he was going to do on that route, too, from what he saw. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, he caught the ball, kind of felt where the defenders were, and just made an outstanding play. That's one thing, anytime you can check the ball down and it goes for 50 yards, that's pretty unbelievable. And it's just a testament to him. He made a couple guys miss. There was some great blocking down the field by the tight ends and wide receivers. So, yeah, it's fun to watch for sure.
Steno, the guy that you had as your number one running back is a pretty damn good player, too. The former, now he's with the Vikings, obviously, and Jones.
Oh, Aaron, yeah.
But and I don't want to use this word if it's being melodramatic, but it sure feels like Jacobs has been transformative. Like, you guys are viewed as a much more physical team all of a sudden. Like, am I off base by saying that? Like,
No, I'd say they're both different players for sure. Aaron's more of a slasher. He can make plays. They both make plays in the pass game, but he's more of a slasher, more of an outside zone guy. Josh is probably more of a downhill runner. They both do a very good job breaking tackles, but I think the way Josh runs, it's like you said, just a little more physical from that standpoint. He's playing really well, and I think the team's rallying around him and his play style, and I would agree. We're playing very physically right now.
so is that contain? Like, you guys didn't do a whole lot of duo before this, and now you got him, and it feels like you do that more. And tell me if I'm wrong with this assessment, but
No.
you do it a whole lot more than you ever.
I think that's that's obviously something he likes, and we're having success with. So just one of those things that just go if it's working, stick with it. Don't overcomplicate things too much. But yeah, it's fun to watch him go out there and just he does a great job hitting the hole, breaking tackles, obviously making DBs miss. He's spinning, and making guys miss that way. It's pretty cool to watch him, just how he's running the ball right now.
Yeah, what's the challenge with Za'Darius, and especially the way that they can, use him?
Yeah, they move him around, and I think one of the biggest things that we saw even when Z was here was when he would get inside on the guards and centers, and they create some matchup problems in there. So that's the biggest thing in protection. We just got to make sure we know where he's at because he's going to be moving around, and got to make sure we're doing a good job blocking him for sure.
You've been really good in road games throughout your tenure, and you've been off to a good start this year too. What is the key to making that happen?
Well, you just got to do a good job communicating. I think during practice we obviously use the crowd noise and stuff like that to try and simulate as best you can that environment where it's hard to communicate. But yeah, it's just you got to do a good job just being on top of your stuff and just fighting for 4 quarters. And these NFL games, man, they come down to the 4th quarter all the time. So just got to give yourself a chance to win at the end.
Are teams better at handling that? Like, I know you play Seattle next week, but like they lost 4 in a row here this season at home. He used to have this great home field advantage. I guess
You're
I'm not
saying
talking about
Seattle's lost 4 in a row at home?
until they won a couple games here of late.
Okay.
Have teams gotten better at handling all the road issues over the years, do you think?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Do you feel like you've gotten better at it?
Well, I mean, like you said, we've had a lot of success on the road, so it's just one thing we practice a lot, our silent cadence. Even in training camp, we have at least once a week where we're just working on silent cadence, just to make sure we're on top of it for these situations right here. This is going to be an excellent environment for a football game. So, yeah, we're definitely prepared for it.
Has that silent stuff gotten better than when you were in camp with Tausch and Cliffy? I feel like those guys weren't as good at it as today's linemen are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's something I guess we just really focus on a lot. So I think so far our guys have been handling it pretty well this year. I'd say the only really, intense environment that we've been in this year would be Soldier Field. So this will be the next one, obviously. You go to LA or Jacksonville, kind of almost felt like a half and half kind of a crowd, you know what I mean? So, yeah, this will be a good test for us for sure.
Steno, what type of challenges does a guy like Kirby Joseph create, especially when you have an offense that likes to play aggressive and
Well, he is an extremely intelligent football player, and he's got awesome ball skills. He does a really good job tracking the ball in the air. He's aggressive with his hands. He makes a lot of plays. He's always around the ball, and that's one thing, like when you watch film, he's coming up with these turnovers, and he just is very instinctive. And then he's also a good tackler in space. He gets guys down. Rarely do you see him miss. So he's a very, very good all-around safety, and just a guy that in the pass game you have to make sure you know where he's at.